That's for goddamn sure.
And let's go live. Have my own little mini dance. Well, the G-Men have been invited. You've been invited. We've all been invited. Invite your friends and neighbors. Because episode... I am speaking into the mic. Okay, episode 17 of Dicking Around podcast has just hit. What's up? I am Philbo. That's Josh over there. We got a great episode for you today, as always. Probably my favorite type of episode where we just talk about random shit for an hour and a half. So we're gonna get you guys fucking locked in hard. As always, you can join the conversation, give us comments, let us know if you want to talk about something. We'll fucking talk about it. It doesn't matter. We're here all day, or at least for the next hour and a half. But Josh, as always, it is your duty to kick us off with a solid.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. There it is, baby. There it is.
Let me make a drink. What's up, everybody? It's gonna be a good one.
He's gonna take you home with him.
I'm gonna leave you on the street. I'm gonna buy me a drink. And I'm going pure with it this time. So we're just going straight.
Just drinking straight liquor. Okay.
The Pure Sparkle. Shout out Tree. Sponsored by the Tree.
Shout out to the Tree. Shout out to the Tree.
Now, here's to everybody. Like, I'll pour a little bit out for our buddy that we're going to talk about, but no. Cheers to everybody. Thanks for coming out. Sorry we didn't make it yesterday. We were doing other things that were more important.
Yeah.
Shout out to the followers. We love you. And shout out to the subscribers. We really love you. And anybody that hits that button, I'll be taking shots all night. We're going to get through this thing. But listen, if y'all want to chime in, y'all want to get yourself a little piece of this action, go ahead and do it. But look,
a little piece of this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Look, a little piece of this. But look, cheers, everybody. It's going to be a good one. Let's fucking do it.
Oh, yeah. Let's fucking do it. And as always, pour it out on the carpet when we pour it out. Straight onto the carpet. That's for you, Willie.
Let the dogs lick it up.
Well, one of the dogs isn't here. That other guy, because he'll chew some shit up if I'm not paying attention.
I'll keep an eye out.
I appreciate it. Let me know. Siren, if you're there, let me know. I know you love the dogs. But yeah, so we poured one out for our boy, Willie Mays. R.I.P. One of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. Arguably the greatest all-around baseball player who ever lived. Fantastic. Behind the plate and out in the field. A true legend of the sport. Here's to you, buddy. Appreciate the entertainment.
That's a tenuous argument. Like, it's who's the best of all time.
It's tough to say.
I don't know if I put him the greatest of all time, but like definitely what he did was special. I will say that.
Oh, 100%.
You pulled up those stats. Like, he's the only player to end his career with over 300, right?
Yes, he had a lifetime batting average of 301.
Okay, and over 300 stolen bases.
Yeah, he had 339 stolen bases.
And over 300 home runs, right?
He had 660 home runs. He was up there.
Right, so he Ronnied the shit out of that.
Yeah.
And then over 3,000 hits, right?
3,293 hits and 1,909 RBIs. Dude was a fucking beast. Yeah.
God damn.
Fucking beast. Yeah. Absolutely.
To put that into perspective for people that don't watch baseball,
that's the greatest thing ever.
that's why we're mourning him at this point, is because you just don't do stuff like that.
I should have bought a black tank top so I could
yeah, how many
proper mourning?
600 what?
660. Just fucking like the only like there's very few people who hit more than that.
There's very few people that hit 600.
Exactly.
But guess what those people don't do? They don't steal 300 fucking bases.
Yeah, exactly. Usually they're not built like that.
No, they turn into a Minotaur like Mark McGuire or A-Rod or some of those. Like the ones that hit that amount either played before the game was played correctly or they
before that point it was just a bunch of like random fat dudes like throwing around like a cow leather for like $5,000 a year.
when there was still a Negro league and a normal league.
Right.
And when there wasn't true competition, they put up shit like that.
Dude, and it's weird, like, and I know like saying that is correct, and like that's what the MLB calls it, and like they're gonna, and in fact, I think they're gonna import the statistics from that league, and like
no, they already did that. They already did.
Oh, they did. Okay. Yeah, I think they're gonna, they'll probably do some more like Hall of Fame inductions as well. But like, it's so weird to say that, but like that's literally what it's called.
That's what it's called, and that's still the term that's used. So that's why I'm using it.
We never like changed it to like the African American League or something.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, it was that bullshit was ended before the terms changed. But it's one of those things where, you know, guys like Willie Mays, guys like Reggie Jackson, which we're not going to go into.
Reggie Jackson would say that word all day long with no issue.
Especially,
he's got no problem.
But especially like Jackie Robinson, like the first ones that were invited into the actual MLB, they're the ones that would like they came in and kicked everybody's ass, and they literally made them learn how to play baseball.
Right.
While these guys were over here in wool suits going, they were actually playing fucking baseball,
wearing oven mitts and shit. with like a ball of yarn.
yeah. But I mean, as far as the actual like the statistics go, it's hard to match. Like we've talked about this before. You have to actually look at the different eras and see who's playing. Like if there's top talent on the other team, what did the top talent from another team do to them?
Right.
And it's very generational, but at the same time, like actually merging the Negro League and allowing those players to play in Major League Baseball was a huge deal. Like that pushed it forward. I think they were stuck for like 4 decades, and then it pushed it forward that far. They're like, fuck, these kids can play.
Right. Yeah. It's really incredible too. Like, I mean, and it's just kind of dumb. Like, arguably some of the best athletes who ever lived only played in the Negro Leagues too before it ever became before they fully integrated both leagues. Also, shout out Jackie Robinson too, because he walked so Willie Mays could run, and by walk he was an amazing ball player too. So he ran so Willie Mays could sprint.
I mean, Jackie was good, but Willie was great.
Yeah, Willie was great.
Like Jackie was great because he was, you know, he was a tone setter. He came in and actually just said, I'm fucking here. You can call me whatever you want, but I'm here to play baseball.
We're going to do it. And he was good at baseball too.
And he was good. I mean, we have a Jackie Robinson day where every fucking team plays and they wear the number 42.
Yeah.
Like that I do know. But Willie Mays, good Lord. Like, can you imagine having somebody like that on your team? Like I played baseball, and I can't.
Baseball. I really can't. Somebody who's just a god at baseball. Like no, I was never blessed to play with somebody who was that talented.
I'm just saying. Can you imagine him playing like American, like public school, varsity, high school ball?
Dude, he would just wreck kids constantly.
It's just like he bats at 999 because that one time they accidentally caught it. Like,
right. Angel Hernandez was behind the plate and called a strikeout.
Right. Yeah, it was because of something insane. Like or it was just a hit by pitch, and I don't know. But
that reminds me, I saw a clip recently on the internet of I forget who. I want to say it was Trey Turner, like when he first started. Like one of the umpires, it wasn't Angel, but he put out a trash can on the field. Maybe it was even a minor league game. I don't remember what it was, but he got ejected. Like the umpire called a terrible call. I don't even think he was like looking at the time when they actually threw the pitch, and he just called a strike because like fuck it. And then he or no, there's what it was. He slid into home, and the umpire wasn't looking because he stole home, and he turned around and he just called him out without even looking, and he was like clearly safe. Like it was ridiculous. He was safe by a mile, and he gets ejected, and then he comes back and puts a trash can at right behind home plate. And I love the comment that I saw was hilarious. It was the up did so bad he had to go out and put Angel Hernandez out on the field. I was like, that's fucking great.
All right, I'm going to issue the first chop of the episode, and it's for me because I'm going to say Trey Turner is one of my favorite players, and he's played for the reason why I chop myself is because he's played for the most garbage fucking teams, but like he was a Philly, he was a Dodger. Who else did he play for?
I don't know.
Either way, he's always been that fucking guy though that like he'll talk shit at the right time, but he'll also do crazy shit. He also
the Nats.
He also the Nats.
We don't talk about that.
Well, I mean, we can talk about them all they want. I don't mind the Nats because they just lose.
They just suck. Except for when one year they accidentally won the World Series.
That 1 year where they loaded themselves with prospects that they drafted and then traded them all away.
Weren't they in the wild card that year and they still won the World Series?
Hang on. You mean the 1 year after they got rid of Bryce Harper?
And I hate to say it, but isn't like Bryce Harper doing better now than he's ever done?
Oh yeah, he's an MVP candidate for sure, but
which is just crazy. Like he's like 32 now, and he's just out there ripping it. I guess you take enough steroids, and you'd be a piece of shit to enough people.
Fine. He gets the double chop.
No, got him.
Got him.
Fucking got him.
Trey Turner, he's done a lot of cool shit. Like he's good in the field. He's a really good batter, but at the same time, he's got the greatest slide of all time. And I say that knowing that fucking Dale Murphy did that slide into home for the Braves to win the World Series. But I don't know if you've seen that slide, but it's literally
I have.
Oh, that slide is so sexy. he just gets up and claps and fucking keeps it to himself. And then the catcher barks something, and then he turns around and said, "Yeah, pussy." He's got the timing on it. That's all I'll say. That. But he's a really good player. He just chooses to play for the shittiest franchise of all time. But,
I love that dude.
But he's made a lot of fucking money. But he pales in comparison to Willie Mays. And I don't know, will we ever see another Willie Mays? Like if Acuna can stay healthy for 10 seasons, I don't know. But I don't think Ronnie
I feel like Ronnie getting hurt, it feels like flukes at this point. Like it doesn't feel like it's going to be a mainstay of his career, but only time will tell. We thought the same thing about Soroka. Soroka was supposed to rebound any fucking time, and then he just, he never did.
And now he's a guest spot in Paper Mario. Like, literally, like
Jesus.
Somebody looks at him the wrong way, and he just falls sideways because his knee flew out.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's like, oh no, it's my Achilles again.
It's fine.
But no, it's
wait, one more time. Only the best sound effects here, folks. Get them while you can. Tune in every week.
But no, I feel like it all goes. I feel like Ronnie is outside of this Venn diagram. I feel like he's not a part of it, but a lot of the like early success and the really bad like career-ending injuries, possibly in this Venn diagram, you have like Mike Soroka and You have J.J. Watt from the Texans. But I feel like a big part of that, like the bigger side of the diagram, is working way too fucking hard in the gym. Like just being a goddamn gym rat. And that's all you do is just all day, every day. Like you got the morning session, you're taking your running backs into the fucking gym. You take, you know, the afternoon, you're taking your receivers into the gym. You have the evening session, you're taking your quarterbacks into the gym and you're showing them up every fucking time. You can only do that for so long. Like it just doesn't work that way. Like you actually, I feel like you have to find your little peak. Like you have to take your little litmus strip and you have to say, all right, well, I'm a little off. Let me top it up. Like you got to take your little breathalyzer and say, all right, I'm only 0.07. I got to top it up. Like you can't just that can't be all you do, you know? And Ronnie's Ronnie's definitely not in that Venn diagram.
It's just wild because like if you could, let's say he has a career-ending injury tomorrow, like he still had statistically one of the best seasons of all time. Like it's just crazy. Like if he stays healthy, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's just no getting around it.
I mean, if he stays healthy, 100%. If he never comes back fully, no, he's not.
Yeah, I know, but it just sucks because it's like. That's what I'm saying. Like his injuries to me feel temporary, but it's so tough.
Probably, but it's the same knee, It's the same ACL. So I don't know. I think he pushed it last year, but I don't know. Like
we'll see.
Who else can do that? Nobody.
Exactly.
Right? I'm saying you can match him up against, you know, a Pete Alonso. You can match him up against I don't know, what's another home run hitter in the league right now? Oh, Matt Olson.
Hell yeah.
Dude, Matt Olson, he's hit more home runs in the last actual physical year than anyone. But,
oh, that's great.
Yeah, and you can put him up against fucking the Big Bear.
Sandoval?
I mean, no, that's the Panda Man.
Oh god.
One of them smacks home runs and the other one lays on his ass.
The other one smacks 40s.
The other one gets his dick sucked at leather and lace.
Yeah.
He doesn't even dress for most things.
Hey, but, he put out in the World Series, man. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, what are you gonna do? But no, as far as that goes, like as far as that Venn diagram goes, Ronnie's not that guy because Ronnie doesn't stay in the gym. I know that for
you're not that guy, bro. You're not that guy. Yeah, but he beefed up. Like that's the thing. Last time he got hurt, he fucking beefed. I mean, because that's the thing. 2 seasons ago he got hurt, and he was like, "Fuck that! I'm coming back with a vengeance." And then he had one of the greatest seasons of the entire history of baseball.
Well, 2021, that's when he got hurt.
Right.
So, and we won the World Series.
Right. Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry.
And then the year before that, which I love, 2020 is Freddie Freeman won the MVP. Which good job, bro. You won the MVP over 40 games.
It was like 60 games, but yeah. Which is so crazy that we had a full season in 2020. Like
there's still do you not remember how crazy that was where they had the cardboard cutouts? Like if you were a fan, you could pay like $200 and they would put a cardboard cutout of you in a seat.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was fucking wild. Dude, that was hilarious too.
And then they were playing like actual stadium noise from other stadiums.
Were they really doing that?
Yes.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah, they would pump in noise. They do all kinds of shit. It was crazy.
But they were playing noise for a full stadium. So they would play like the walk-up music, and then they would play like mumbled fans and stuff. And then if you had a home
mumble
run,
fans.
just like, you know, just like a small roar that comes from 20,000 people or like a half full stadium, whatever.
Right.
And then you hit a home run and then it's the full effect. Like you just won the goddamn World Series.
Right.
Like, you go fucking nuts. And then I remember several players, they actually hit a home run and just slung the bat into the seats, and whoever the bat hit, like whoever's little cardboard cutout it hit, got like $1,000 of free tickets or something.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean they had to get fucking creative, that's for damn sure.
I mean, it was crazy. And remember that was when what's his name for the Dodgers? Dusty Baker, when he was wearing like full gloves, a full goddamn mask, and like 14 armbands on on each arm.
Right.
And anytime he came out to take a picture out or whatever, it's like, is he like he's turning into RoboCop? What the fuck is this? Like
he's turning into RoboCop.
But no, congratulations, Freddie, on winning the worst MVP of all time. And I hope you're happy.
And for that reason, he went to well. He's doing great there, so I'm sure he's very happy in LA.
He's a great hitter. He's a great slap hitter. He's also a great first baseman. So
what are you gonna do? He's also great at crying. Sorry, I had to get that out there.
Which was great that fucking Ronnie stole what was it, his 60th base against the Dodgers.
Oh
Dodgers Stadium, and then stole second base. No, I love
dude when
I
love when he pulls like the old I don't know what to call it. He pulls a trick out of his ass where he steals second and then nobody's standing on third and he steals third. He's done that like 3 or 4 times.
Or he'll just steal second and then he'll just steal third because they're trying to put like, that's the best thing ever is having Ozzy bat after him. That's why that's why the lineup's fucked up right now, is because like he's the greatest leadoff hitter in the world at this point. He's one of the best all around hitters in the world, period. Because he can get hits, he'll hit his home, like he'll destroy in home runs, and once he gets on base, like he'll make it happen. Like he's just a monster. I'm saying, he single-handedly gave Michael Harris, Money Mike, a career because they put him at the 9 spot, and they're so afraid of the 1 spot that they pitch to him.
Right.
Like, usually they just turn that shit over. But
to be fair, though, Money Mike is also really good in his own right.
Money Mike is also hurt right now too, so
that's true.
We're just falling the fuck apart.
I love the comments online where it's like Azuna. Maybe you sent me something like this, or maybe I saw it somewhere. But it's just like Azuna stole all the juju from the rest of the Braves.
yeah, Ozuna is just the offense right now.
Yeah, it's just him, which is just crazy because
it actually isn't true because Big Thick has come on real big after his injury.
Which one is that? Who's Big Thick?
You don't know who Big Thick is? And you're a Braves fan?
I don't.
Austin Riley?
Oh, Austin Riley. Gotcha. Yeah, he is a fucking milkshake, isn't he?
Well, I call him Chonk Chonk, but
he's not even. The funny thing is, he's not even fat. He's just thick.
No, he's just fucking big,
he's
bro.
Thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, no, that's what they call it, Big Thick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. That's funny. I get it now. I'm on board.
But I've always called him Chonk Chonk, especially like when he used to fall down trying to hit a slider. Like he used to get sorted every fucking game. Like they were like, "Oh, he can't hit a slider," and the pitcher's like, "I can't really throw a slider." They're like, "Just try." Like,
just try. Just make it happen.
Just try. He'll fall down. I promise. But no, he's come on hard. I think he's hit since. Well, his mentor died like 3 days ago. So since then, he hit like 4 home runs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens like that.
Damn.
But yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
we were just talking about baseball in general. But also, yeah, I mean that's really it. We're just having a conversation today. So, but we do have like one thing to talk about, and it's a really big fucking thing. It's this list. It's this chart that you sent me, which is just fucking wild. Like, but it's kind of like
it's like real though. Like you can feel.
Oh, it's on. But it's the funny thing is though, it's like it's so in depth, and it's like it's almost like what the apocalypse bingo. Like I feel like people would like use that term a lot during the 2020 pandemic. I don't want to say the C word because then they'll flag it. But like, yeah, I feel like a lot of people like talked about shit like this that was going on.
You mean during Freddie Freeman's MVP season?
That's how we refer to the C word from now on.
Right.
The worst MVP season of all time.
Of all time. Shout out, Freddie. Fuck you.
Shout out, fuck you. I love that. But yeah, so it's this crazy chart, and this is part of why it's a conversation today, and not really like we're not like pulling shit out of our ass. But like, it's got this. Here, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up for the audience. Oh, I gotta let me mute the intro music real quick, so we don't just randomly drop the fucking shit in the middle of the show.
We're gonna call in the G-men over and over again.
Hey, somebody's gonna call him. So this chart comes from Reddit. Here's the whole thing. It's pretty long in the window, you can tell. But it's called the apocalypse. Which apocalyptic decks are most likely to wipe out Earth's population, and when? And then you get your color-coded man-made, and your color-coded natural. And then these explosion event is annihilation takes less than a year. So there's a lot. It's pretty in depth.
Yeah.
I guess, and it ranks them 1 through 5 on a level of. I love how Move to Mars is 4. It ranks them 1 through 5 on like level of disaster. Bullshit. So
I love that. Keep calm. Check bucket list.
Yeah. Live dangerously.
Move to Mars, and it's all over.
I feel like, but to me, I feel like live dangerously would come before check bucket list. But maybe check bucket list is just like be aware of it. Where live dangerously is like go Mad Max on these motherfuckers.
No, check bucket list is like I've never been to the Grand Canyon, and live dangerously is like I'm gonna rob my neighbor or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Live dangerously is I'm gonna make a few porch pops just cause. Nobody's gonna stop it.
Well, I've been doing that the whole time.
No, you have not. So
you're right.
That's for legal reasons. That's a joke. So the first thing that's on this list, honeybees die out. This is something that just comes up constantly. But like I just feel like, and this is weird too. This is gonna sound out of left field. So hang in here with me for a second. I feel like people talked about, and this is something that came up on TikTok, the internet, everything. I feel like people talk. Oh, hold on, I gotta fix something on TikTok real quick. Let's do that. Otherwise, it's gonna be hanging in the middle. People talked about butterflies going away. Like people were like, when I was a kid, there were butterflies everywhere, and now I don't ever see butterflies. And I'm like, well, first of all, probably because you don't play outside anymore.
Right, because you're not laying in the fucking grass.
Right, exactly. So that's number one. But I also kind of feel like there is some truth to it. Like I do feel like you just walk around and you'd see butterflies. But I feel like in the last couple of years, I've definitely noticed more butterflies. But I don't even know if I was cognizant of it before. So like I don't even know if it's a metric to go off of. But I've also noticed more bees though, is the other thing.
So the honeybees, I mean, it depends on what kind of grass you grow. Like if you weed correctly in your yard and you don't have the little dandelions and all that stuff, the bees aren't going to be there. Like,
well, I feel like it's more, it depends, because if you have like bushes that flower too, then they'll be there when they're flowering.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you have to have something for them to get pollen off of.
Of course.
And yeah, I mean, most people that talk this shit live in apartments and they don't have shit like that. It's like,
it's like people in New York City, man, I haven't noticed the honeybees lately. I wonder why that is.
Right. Yeah, they're not just gonna come in your house. Like you open the door and a honeybee comes in.
Hey man, do you mind if I set up here for the night? Appreciate it.
Yeah, right. But I think it.
He comes in. He's just like, I need a couple bucks to get you see my daughter's graduating, and I just need some gas money.
Can I have the change off the dresser, please?
I need a place to crash for the night. Can I use your couch?
Right. Wife kicked me out.
Yeah. Man, the hive is just crazy. The queen is just, man, she's real pissed.
She's on her Menzies. I don't know what to fucking do.
Oh god, yeah.
Which common misconception, most honeybees are actually female.
Are they really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
A very large percentage are actually female, and the males are forced to stay in the hive and tend to the queen, if you know what I mean.
Man, what a
And then
it's like the Futurama meme where it's like death by snoo snoo.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, you've been sentenced to death.
Damn.
Oh
Yeah.
By snoo. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the life of a honeybee.
Is there a better way to go?
No, there's not. There's
Well,
really,
there
there's
is,
literally
and I'll
that's
tell you.
it.
No, there is, and it's not the way they're going, and that's death by blow.
blow while on heroin.
Right.
Just the best possible experience you could
Right.
ever have.
Right. You're on cocaine and parachuting on heroin and getting a blowjob. That's the best way to
go. Don't do drugs, kids. So and so this is
great,
also
it won't end up well.
This is the other thing is like I feel like there's stories. I feel like honeybees are like eggs, where there's stories all the time where it's like, oh, they're dying, and then they're like, oh, just kidding, they're back. Where eggs are like, oh, they're unhealthy for you, just kidding, they're healthy for you. It's like I feel like all the time.
Is, like, so bees are bees, but at the same time, then you have wasps, like the shit that I was dealing with, like those goddamn hornets.
Dude, wasps are pieces of shit and deserve to die.
They don't do anything for anything.
Apparently, they are pollinators, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that either, but at the same time, dude, I told you about getting stung on my back porch, and it was like Tiger Woods took a 9-iron and hit a fucking golf ball into my chest. Like that thing hit me so fucking hard.
Like, are we talking Tiger Woods like when he was cheating on his wife all the time? Because that's like peak Tiger Woods.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When he when he packed a loose bag full of cardigans and just ran out to his car and crashed into the reporters.
Yeah, when it was like when Tiger Woods was like trying to become the whitest person who ever lived. Yeah,
right. When he went anti-A-Rod, that's.
Woo! Why are we not canceled yet? It's just because nobody.
I don't know.
Anyway. Woo. So yeah. So that happened. And yeah, dude, they're fucking but they are pieces of shit though. If they weren't pollinators, like I would fuck them up.
Oh, I'd fuck them up anyway.
I mean, yeah. I mean, try holding me back.
Look, don't fuck with me.
Yeah. You fuck with me, I'll fuck with you. I mean, that's the problem though. It's like you can't have like 7 wasps nests on your property. That's a lot to say at once. Wasps nests.
Wasps nests.
To say properly, you really have to drag it out. Otherwise you're just saying wasp nests. But even that, wasp nest, it's hard. It's a hard word to say.
Nests.
You gotta enunciate. The tip of the tongue, motherfucker.
The tip of the tongue.
But yeah, anyway, the wasps nests. You can't have them hanging out. All right, we're talking about wasps for no reason. I mean, but dude, wasp Armageddon in itself, that's fucking harsh. Like just wasps everywhere.
Fuck that.
That's the worst way to go. I mean, just kill me in nuclear war. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hang on this list, is there a murder ostrich option?
If not, it's an incomplete list.
The ostriches, they just weaponize at some point.
Right, exactly. But here's the fun. So I guess check the bucket list. The bees. I feel like the bees are okay. They may not be great, but I feel like they're okay.
Fine. They're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine.
They probably bought a timeshare or two they shouldn't have, but other than that, they're okay.
Right, they're fine.
Yeah, they'll recover.
They've got some stocks they can lean back on.
Exactly. You know about that life.
Yeah.
So nuclear Armageddon. I feel like this is just classic. Like, you know, it's funny, and I thought about this is gonna get serious for a second. I thought about like I used to be like, there's no fucking way we'll ever have a nuclear war, simply because like nobody wants to end the world because it's mutually assured destruction. But I thought about it. I thought about it more and more, and because like just over time how empires change, like eventually there will not be an America. It will either grow larger or become, it'll be broken up. Eventually there won't be a Russia. It'll either grow larger or it'll get broken up. And it's like the worst possible thing that can happen with nuclear weapons is like this is what happened when the Soviet Union broke up. Like they had to get a lot of nuclear weapons that were deployed, and like famously in Ukraine, and there's people argue about that now because of reasons. And like other places like Kazakhstan, like they had to get nuclear weapons that they had deployed in these regions back to Russia, because it's like, well, then you're just introducing nuclear weapons to people who, smaller satellite governments who traditionally haven't been in control of them.
Right.
So it's a whole thing. And I think like long term, eventually there will be a nuclear war of some kind. Maybe it's not all out destruction, but long term there will be another nuclear bomb that goes off simply because they exist.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be something like, let's say, because Russia has been threatening for the last 2 years, but
that's empty threats. They're not gonna nuke anybody because Russia doesn't want to end the world. But
we've also already checked all those boxes, and we keep checking the fucking boxes.
No, I disagree with you on that. What I'm more afraid of is like if Russia breaks up, then Chechnya might end the world. Or
what I'm saying is, so
you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying, but
bruh.
I'm saying we have checked like every time they've been like, okay, fill out this slip and we'll attack you with nuclear weapons. And we just check the boxes like slowly and look them in the eyes. It's like, okay.
But I feel like it's the same thing. Check. It's the same thing that happened in the Middle East where it's like we drew, and I'm not calling out anybody particularly when I say this. It's just an easy thing to say. It's like where we drew a line in the sand and it got crossed and then nothing happened. Like that's exactly what's happened with Russia. Like it's only been escalating and nothing happens because you can't end the fucking world.
I agree with you as far as how it will happen is using satellite nations such as like North Korea. Like North Korea is armed by China, and they finally get their armaments that they need, and then they attack Vietnam, and then like all these little countries start doing it, and it's like, well, yeah, I see your Vietnam, and here's Australia.
Actually, what I'm saying is I think there's a greater risk because long term the Russian state is not suited to stability, and neither is China for that matter. Like over time they've become,
well, we're getting too political on this, but
I'm just speaking. I just think it's like what I'm more worried about is when China and Russia break up, because eventually they will. When America breaks up, because eventually it will. Then you're talking about smaller states that will be in control of these nuclear weapons that have a lower threshold to use them locally,
like the state of South Carolina.
Right. Well, just nuke. Well, hopefully we nuke them first, because
we're too close. We're too close.
That is true. Well, and that's true. We're too close. We can't czar bomb them. We can tactically nuke them.
We can cut them off of the country and float them out and just let them go.
South Carolina and California. Sorry, your time has come.
Sorry, you guys just drift out.
Maybe let's do Mississippi and Alabama while we're at it.
Right. And if you guys can develop the technology to motor your way back,
then we'll know you've made it. Then we'll welcome you back into the fold with open arms.
We might tie you onto the dock. I don't know.
Yeah. Bioterrorism. Freddie Freeman, MVP season.
Right.
So bam.
Yeah, we can. I mean,
I don't think we even need to talk about that one.
I mean, some of that stuff actually was scary because it came to light that like there's actually a facility in North America.
Oh, in North America,
and in North America that actually, I don't think they released the actual location of it, but it actually holds like parts of shit that like nobody's vaccinated against.
Yeah, well, it's here in Atlanta. It's in the CDC in Atlanta. It's stuff like smallpox and like like eradicated viruses and like leprosy, stuff like that. I mean, not that leprosy is eradicated,
but it's just a whole facility that just contains vials of like gnarly shit.
Yeah,
and but they have the antidotes too. They just don't want to tell you that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think we're all familiar with that one. I don't think we need to talk about that one too much. Loss of topsoil, I feel like that's more of an issue like in underdeveloped countries, like where they just do like strip farming and like they really like just fuck their environment. I feel like the United States is one of the most environmentally protected nations on earth. And obviously Europe is too. So I feel like it's very regional. And the thing about global warming or climate change or whatever, when the Earth warms, it actually makes it a better environment for plant life. Like, I think we've seen something like a 20% increase in like greenification in the world in the last like 50 years, and it's actually due to the very small amount of global temperature that's increased over that time period. Like, it's actually an interesting thing that occurs. So like, obviously it's a Goldilocks zone. Like, we can't get to like 120 degrees average in like Antarctica and survive, but it is something that I think long term we'll be fine with. This got really weird. This got really serious. Like,
this got really serious. But no, and yeah, I mean, the United States, the farming life in the United States, we've actually revamped it, and it's a pretty sweet life. But
yeah, just ask Chris. He's having the time of his life.
But I'm saying, like, it's not a problem in North America, but like you said, in other areas, especially more arid climates,
right,
it's a problem. And the problem of the loss of topsoil is if some of these nations can't actually grow what they need to grow,
right,
they're gonna it's gonna get nuts, and then they're gonna start attacking other nations trying to get their shit, and then that's I think that's what they're getting at here. Is it's like, the United States is pretty safe. I'd say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say we're a 7 out of 10 as far as like being safe if somebody tries to attack us.
Yeah.
But the chance of somebody coming and actually occupying us or anything like that,
it's like astronomically low.
Yeah, no, that's decades away. Like, that's after Gen Z takes over. When Gen Z runs the world, then that's what's going to happen. But it won't be because of topsoil. But
it'll be because of TikTok dances.
Yeah. Yeah. This will be because of screen exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't put that at what threat level is that?
This is moved to Mars. I guess because, like, long term you would have to move to Mars. But what I don't understand, and actually this is believe it or not, putting nuclear Armageddon at check bucket list is actually a lot smarter of a place. Now, I might put it on number 3 versus number 2. But, like, long term, what's really weird, something I've learned a lot about nuclear weapons lately, is that unless we fired off like all like 30,000 of them at once, which is pretty unlikely. Like, actual nuclear devastation.
Yeah, there's no nuclear winter. No.
Right. And, like, actual nuclear devastation is relatively localized, and the fallout dissipates after like a couple of weeks. It's like,
but there's only been 2 that have been detonated. Like,
right. And they destroyed those cities. So It's like, you don't want to be anywhere near them, but at the same time, like, it's feasibly survivable if you're outside of the pizza range.
You don't want to be a casual citizen just going about your day and then be liquidated.
No, you want to be a prepper, like, out in the country, be liquidated. Yeah, you don't want to be turned into like a shadow. Right. That's not gonna happen. I guess that's like
and blow away with the wind.
Right. Like, I guess that's like that scene in Terminator where it's like holding on to the fence.
No, that's exactly what that was. And that was terrifying when I was a kid.
Dude, that shit is still, like, if you just look at that in a freeze frame, it's still creepy. Like, people use that as like thumbnails for videos and shit. It's still like weird to look at.
It's rough.
Yeah. Hashtag Terminator.
Hashtag Terminator 2. But
good movie.
The loss of topsoil, which, by the way, if we're gonna stick with that, better than the original. But
what's the original? Oh, Terminator. I thought you were talking about loss of topsoil. I'm like, what? This topsoil we have now, it's fucking great, dude. The old shit we had was terrible.
Well, we'll move to natural pandemic, which is better than the original.
Also, a level 3 live dangerously. I mean, we just had a natural pandemic, dude. It's also crazy, like, how many fucking people died when like 100 million people died from the Spanish flu. Like, that shit was crazy.
Right.
Like that was like really bad. Or maybe I feel like that number's right, but maybe it's like 10, even if it's 10 million people, that's a shit ton of people that died. Like, especially for I think it was 100 million people. Like, I want to say that's the right number. Like,
it was a lot of people.
That's fucking wild. And like, if you go back and you read descriptions from like the medieval period or even the late Roman period, and there was a plague. There was the Justinian plague in Byzantium and like or Constantinople, and like the 530s, 540s, which was like the first wave of the Black Death, or the bubonic plague. Well, I don't want to say the first wave, but one of the first major waves of the bubonic plague. And like people were like jumping out of windows and shit to just like end their, like, it was really bad. Like half the population of the Roman Empire was decreased because of it. It was crazy. Like, it got fucking crazy. And it's like, and you know, they just found a way through it. Like, what humanity has survived is just fucking nuts.
Yeah. And look, the one I'm most afraid of is coming up, which is the combo apocalypse.
Yeah, the jackpot.
The jackpot. Like, we get a hurricane, tornadoes, tsunami.
We get a sharknado. We get a plague of frogs. We get Freddie Freeman's MVP season. You know, yeah. and we nuke each other all at the same time.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that'd be really bad.
But I think they're talking about just natural disasters. But
right,
either way, it's not realistic.
Dude, Sharknado is a natural disaster. That would be devastating. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine like 30 fucking Sharknadoes like in every city around the world? Like, that would just be.
What about like Gatornado?
That's what we'll call the gender reveal event. It'll be the Gatornado Showdown. The Gator Cane.
Whichever color the gator is wearing that bites you.
Dude, it's so funny to me too that I remember when I told you about Cajun Santa Claus and you were like, "There's no fucking way he's got gators pulling his sled." And I was like,
"Gators fucking pulling it." It's
awesome. Like, it's true. It's a real thing. I don't know why that popped in my head randomly, but I feel like the Gator Cane. That, first of all, that like flows better. And like, because of the hurricanes that like hit the Gulf, like that's a real thing. Like
the Gator Cane, yeah.
Why is that? I feel like that should have been the sequel to Sharknado. Like the Gator Cane. Come on, man.
Fuck yeah! Like comes over New Orleans. Wait,
I mean,
soon?
Dude, that's the funny thing is too soon. No, that's the funny thing is though, is like, if it did go over New Orleans, people would just be standing in the street with silverware. Like, let's go. Right. It's Christmas.
The guy from the TV show would just be like, "Shoot him, Chad! Shoot him! Right. Shoot him!"
No, it would just be everybody gets their shotgun. It's like dinner, bam, dinner.
Yeah. No, we're fine. Like, everybody from the bayou just comes out. Like, yeah. All the fucking all the swamp people just come.
Exactly, and they just, dude, that would. Oh. It'd have to do like the cheese caves in Wisconsin or whatever, where they just create the gator cave so they can store all the gator long term.
Just call it Gator Trina.
Gator Trina. Woo!
That's rough.
Hurricane Gator, baby.
Hurricane Gator.
Overpopulation. To me, this is an extremely overhyped problem.
Yeah,
that,
and
like,
we'll never live to see it. So
it's not even that, like, we probably, like, people just don't understand like how much land on Earth there is and like how much people don't utilize all of it. Like, it's not even close. Like, overcrowding is an actual issue. Overpopulation, like, we would need like 100 billion people to even begin hitting like anywhere close to overpopulation.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy how much people
in America alone. Like, there's a third that's not lived on.
In America, no, it's way more than that. It's in America alone, 94% of land is not developed.
I don't know if that's true.
No, that's 100% true, because you got to realize there's so much fucking land, like especially in the Midwest. Like, basically the entirety of the Midwest, if it's not used for farming.
I was about to say, like, once you jump from Missouri to Colorado, there's nothing.
There's nothing, and it's like, nothing. Yeah, you could be like, there's farms. Yeah, there are farms. I don't know, I don't think, it's kind of a weird carve out. I don't know if farms are counted as developed land, which, like, they are, but they're not. I don't know. But it's like it's literally something astronomically nuts like that. It's something like 94% of land in America is not developed. Like it's just fucking crazy how much land we have.
And developed meaning like you have power, like a power plant running to
power,
to everything. You have plumbing,
like residences, commercial, like the whole thing.
Not just you go out and dig a well and
right. That might count. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that statistic, but like that's something I've learned like a few years ago, and it's just like it's crazy how much land is not developed. Even if it's like 50% of land is not developed in America, like that's still fucking crazy.
It's not in the 90s, but it's a big number.
I'll look it up real quick.
I mean, but overpopulation, like then you would deal with the whole immigration issue, which I don't want to get political on it, but
just 6% of America's nearly 2 billion acres of land is developed. So it's 94%. This says 5 to 6%. As of 2012, it looks like. So let's call 6%. As of now.
Enhance.
Oh yeah, I typed it out, baby. I typed it out. I put on a show for the people. I gave them what they want, Josh. You got to give the people what they want. But yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy. Like how much of that land is undeveloped. Like if you ever, I remember I'll never forget. Like I went on a road trip in 2018 to North Dakota, and it was just like you just went, and then there was just nothing.
I know.
There's just nothing,
dude. I've been out that way. Like even more developed states, because I mean I've been to the Badlands. I've seen all that shit,
which is gorgeous.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. But like I've also been through the states of like Iowa and Illinois. And
yeah, dude, Illinois outside of Chicago is just nothing. And Iowa is even worse. Iowa's just nothing. Iowa's like less. Iowa's like a black hole. There's just nothing there. There's less than nothing there.
There's nothing. But it's. But I've also driven from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, and it's just nothing.
Right.
Like
it's just nothing.
Like no, there's a reason why when you actually look up weather, they'll tell you like the visibility distance.
Right.
And you can see that, like driving from Nevada to California, you can see that far. Like if your eyes can see that far, if you have binoculars, you can see that fucking far because there's nothing. It's just, but that's a desert. I guess that's the difference.
Right.
But I mean, we know we can develop desert, so
that's true. We can take it back.
We've done it before.
Now this is where it gets silly. Nano weapons. It's like robots are gonna take over the world. Yeah, the Matrix.
Like this weird little fucking like scorpion thing is gonna go in through your belly button,
right?
And then,
dude, that shit is still creepy today. Like we talked about the scene in Terminator 2. That shit is still creepy today. Like where they put that fucking bug into his stomach, dude. That shit's wild.
Which, by the way, that and the flawed super AI, those go hand in hand. We've already dealt with that. We've dealt with the Matrix already. Like we've had the warning signs. Is it really going to happen? No.
Well, that's the other thing is like, that's what dude, people say, and talking about AI for a second, people are like, oh, AI is so advanced. AI is nothing. AI right now is just a natural build up. It's just an algorithm. That's all it is. All AI is are algorithms. It's not even close to being more advanced than that. Now, it's a really good algorithm, like, and it's good at looking at other algorithms and analyzing them, but that's it. Like it doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have like, it can't really think for itself. It's not even very good at quote unquote learning. Like it's very, very basic right now. And people are like just losing their minds about AI. And I'm like, guys, calm the fuck down.
Well, they have had like some of the smaller countries that bring it up at the UN summits and stuff. They're like, we need to put regulations on this because it's going to get out of hand. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, look, anybody that's making this kind of shit has a kill switch on this shit. Like it's not gonna
Like I remember there was that story too, like a few years ago where there was like, oh, these computers started talking to each other in their own language. And it was like, yeah, but it wasn't even that. It was just like,
but that's been happening since computers were a thing.
right, exactly.
Like, but that's been the underlying thing. Like the internet, anything that you ever do, your computer does that to other computers
All the time.
That's just how they operate. But the super AI that they're talking about is like they finally they build the like the fully
Right.
sentient AI,
Right.
and then they don't like humanity and it decides to
Right.
destroy humanity.
Like Ultron or Skynet or Cortana, the list
Right.
goes on.
There's a kill switch for that.
Yeah.
But
well, right
like,
now there is. Maybe they circumvent the kill
right,
switch.
right, before they figure out what it is.
Right.
But not realistic.
No, it's really not realistic. And I mean, especially maybe in a very distant future, it might be, but not anytime soon is it realistic.
So the only scenario in which I would see this being realistic, because the Matrix is way far fetched, where like
Matrix is very far fetched,
where they're using humans as batteries and
right,
shit.
which is just so dumb because all they have to do is just build machine. Like geothermal energy would be so much more viable than the minuscule amount of electricity that they would get out of like a human body.
Right. Like that's like buying a single AAA battery from the Dollar Tree that lasts like 3 minutes in a remote.
Right, exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you just put up fucking panels? Like, you guys scorched the earth, or you scorched the skies, whatever the story was. But I'm pretty sure you could build a solar panel long enough that would actually fuel your batteries. Right. Anyway, the most realistic.
My computer's freaking out. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Oh God.
It's pulling up the weather in the local area.
No, the most realistic scenario of that happening, I would think, would be what's the one Will Smith did, the iRobot?
Dude, that movie's actually a good movie. I actually really like that movie.
I didn't like it that much, but at the same time, I think that's the most realistic scenario, to where we get so far into the future that everything is so automated that we keep building, like you have a little robot that just like we have now that fucking sweeps your floors and mops your floors,
right?
And then you have an automated trash can that automatically dumps out, and then you have a fucking, like, you have and then you get a little bit further and you have an automated robot that walks around the house and cleans and cooks for you, and then you have sex with it, and then like, because we're really not that far away from that, but in fact,
dude, the sex robots are a real thing, man. They're coming out strong.
No, they're a real thing, but I'm saying, like, once all that like becomes mainstream and not just like a taboo thought, like once you have all that installed, now saying an advanced AI couldn't control all that, right? I don't know.
Gets crazy, man. Start getting it. That's like the combo, the combo apocalypse.
But it has to be one of those things to where they're mass produced. So like in iRobot, where they have like these big warehouses just full of them.
Right.
And then you can have one crazy AI that just says, "These are mine. I fucking hate you."
Right.
And then automates all of them, and we turn into the story of Terminator 2.
The AI just goes, "Shout out humans. Fuck you."
Right. Fuck you. I'm tired of listening.
Fuck me. No, fuck you.
Hear my voice.
Yeah, you should be a voice actor for that. And just be the most bro AI. Like that's actually something that's never been explored. Like, what if the AI was like a California surfer? They were like, it's really unchill, guys. Like, just gonna kill you right now, man.
Listen, you guys aren't chill enough. I'm gonna chill you out, bruh.
Yeah. Permanently. Brosif.
Cowabunga, dude. And then fucking everybody.
Gotta love it. Underpopulation. So there is a real thing. Okay, here's the other thing. We only got like 10 minutes because I gotta cut it short and run off somewhere. So we'll call it at 6:15. We gotta hit the chop shop. All right. Underpopulation. So people are not talking about this enough. We'll never be wiped out as a species from underpopulation. At least in the way that this is describing it. I don't think so. I mean, it's technically possible, yes. But what people aren't talking about right now that is absolutely going to massively affect the entire world's population in the next 40 to 50 years, something we will live to see, is declining birth rates are going to be a massive economic issue for a lot of the world. Like China's population, I think in like it's like 40 or 50 years, China, Japan, Korea, like their population is going to have.
Cheers.
What's up? Cheers.
I said cheers.
Oh, cheers. Okay, cheers. The entire like their populations are gonna be cut in half just due to natural birth rates. Like it's not like they're not gonna be murdering each other. It's not gonna be the purge. They're not gonna go to war. It's literally just because of naturally declining birth rates. And it's gonna like people aren't ready for like the amount of like economic devastation that's gonna cause. Like it's gonna be fucking crazy. But historically what happens when it's actually kind of a cool like economic correction thing that happens out, and by cool I mean like a bunch of people have to die in order to make this happen, but historically, like if you look at what happened with Europe after the Black Plague in the late 1300s and early 1400s, it actually created capitalism and ended feudalism because a third of the world's population a third of Europe's population died. So what happened was all of a sudden labor was worth so much more and they could demand so much more wages, and it created a whole other system that they had to like a whole other economic system that people had to operate under.
Right.
And
this is where we go back to like the combo apocalypse is
right.
Underpopulation is a real thing, and it's I mean you can see it just like there's certain groups of people that are still like flooding the streets like cockroaches, but at the same time,
well, maybe we changed that term, but yeah.
well, no, it's true. I mean, they're
flooding the streets like humans that keep breeding,
like cucarachas. No, anyway, hate speech. We're out.
Yeah,
but
calm down there, buddy.
No, but then you also see other. All right, let me calm down for a second.
Take a breath.
No, but you're right. I mean, the birth rate has been significantly cut. Like you don't
dramatically.
You don't see like a husband and wife creating 8 children.
No.
And you like they do 1, 2, 3 tops. Like 3 is like that cherry on
3's
top.
like you're crazy. 3 is like how the fuck do you even manage that?
No, 3's like why didn't you take the fucking pill, you goddamn bitch.
3's like why did I not get a vasectomy?
Right. But rarely do you see more than that now. Like I said, there are certain groups that they don't think that way, but now it's like the majority of the planet Earth is like, nah, 2's more than enough. Like,
and that's mostly due to economic reasons. Like the only place on Earth where the birth rate is above like 2.2 is Africa, and the birth rate's even declining there. So it's like it's just crazy how much it's changed.
The death rate is so much higher there too. Like AIDS is basically airborne. Like,
yeah, I mean, laughing at that's kind of fucked up, but it's true.
I mean, you got a good laugh out of it. But,
I'm sorry. I mean, it's been 23 and a half years. AIDS is funny now. Sorry.
All right, it's officially funny.
Officially funny, people.
But no, what I mean is, but. No, and I understand that issue and where we've like stepped up and created different forms of dealing with that. I mean, over the course of human history, say what, 3,000 years?
Yeah.
What like every time there's a big shift, like a plague, something crazy happens, like a bunch of people fucking die, a region's gone, shit like that. We've managed to adjust using certain means, but I think this time automation is going to be a real thing, like just what we talked about. Like it's going to be like, instead of oh fuck, like this whole thing went through and swept, like we haven't been making babies like we want to. Gen Z doesn't believe in babies, so we're not making any more babies. And
Gen Z doesn't believe in babies.
and a pandemic comes through and like wipes a third of them out. We can't be what we are. Then why don't we just automate the whole fucking thing?
I think that's a really good point too. I feel like automation, now granted, it's still cheaper now to use people over robots. And there's a lot of processes, like when you really think about it, that can't be fully automated. Like it would be very difficult to fully automate farming, for instance. Like you literally have to create an automaton, like an android who would like have to do like go through the human motions of like driving a tractor or like, you know what I'm saying?
What if all the hours that I've spent playing the farming simulator in Stardew Valley, they've just been loading that into one big fucking algorithm, and they're like, okay, here's what we do, here's what we don't do.
I think something that's cool though, since we're talking about this, I feel like something that's really cool that people don't really think about, like Elon Musk has said a lot of crazy shit, but like one of the things he's talked about too is remote work, and even like going into space and doing remote work. It's a whole thing, but I feel like remote work on Earth,
like operating a drone kind of
right
thing.
Think about like you could operate a drone remotely, and you're a farmer but you live in New York City, but you operate a drone in Iowa. Like that could be a real thing.
It could be a real thing.
Yeah.
And you just have you only need a few people on site for maintenance and like quality kind of stuff.
Right. And they'll be the real farmers.
Goddamn right. But I'll tell you, if I ever get that job and I'm remotely working a fucking I don't know, like a harvester or something like that, I will be wearing the straw hat.
Oh fuck yes, straw hat overalls. Like you got to get into it. You know what I'm saying?
You got to get in the mood.
Yeah. But like stuff like that. I feel like that's automation is both underhyped and overhyped at the same time, because people like Andrew Yang are like the only solution is to just go on UBI, but it's like we're not there yet. Like the self-driving trucks were like way overhyped. Like the
no, it's a big nightmare.
Right. There's still so many things. Like it's actually like there's the people talk about like, oh well, the people that will get replaced will be the people flipping burgers. But it's funny that like the jobs that are being replaced by AI right now are like writers and like software engineers, stuff like that. Right. Like it's not the people doing the menial tasks. It's the stuff that computers already touch. So it's like, it's kind of
let's skip forward, because I do want to talk.
We got to skip forward.
The gray god theory, because
the gray goo theory,
whatever. It's like that's something I don't know. Ever since I saw Men in Black, like I think about that kind of shit. To where it's more on the line of The Matrix, but like it's one of those things. It's more of a like macro micro kind of thing.
I'll tell you what. Something that compliments is I saw this crazy video that said, because we haven't, like, if aliens exist, because we haven't observed them yet, that means that they're colonizing space at a very rapid pace, which is just like really, dude, it's fucking like mind blowing. Like, I feel like I need to be smoking a bong to talk about this, because it's like universal, like it's like mind blowing shit to think about, because we haven't discovered them.
Well, this is also it goes hand in hand with the theory with the guy that's like on the outs with the FBI right now, because he's the one that officially outed UFOs and made them actually like release it.
But but people were like, oh, that's a distraction, because it was like, I forget, something else was going on at the same time, and they were like, this is bullshit.
Well, people are hard R, but it's like he's literally
that's hard R stupid, by the way, for all of our
hard R stupid.
Yeah.
He's put together all of this evidence of like the government knows that shit like this exists, and whether it's this theory or a different theory, it's shit that we don't know about and we can't control. And it's like it's just observing at this point. So like we haven't gone full Independence Day and nothing has materialized that we can't handle, but like I know this is a little left of what we're talking about, but it's more of there's shit that we can't see and that we can't observe that's observing us,
right? And well, possibly it could be that like it's actually like it's cool to think about it both ways, because I don't want to talk about like I don't want to talk about religious belief too much, but it's cool to think about like either there's a shit ton, there's a crazy like sci-fi alien world in the universe, and it's like we could just go out there and discover it potentially. We could also like there could be it's also crazy to think about that could exist, and then we would never run into each other because of the impossibility of traveling between the stars. Or it's also crazy to think about, like, if there is some sort of creator of some kind that, like, this entire universe is just for us. Like, that would be wild too. Like, any possibility is just nuts.
But then there's the other one it's not a huge colony, and it's time travel. And it's like we learned how, I don't know, 3,000 years from now in Futurama time, we learned how to actually bend time.
Right.
And it's us coming back to make sure we don't do anything fucking crazy.
Right.
And like, and it's that gets more into string theory, which we're not going to go into, but like, it's like they actually learned how to reverse time, because time, I mean, as we know, time is, we can observe it or try to, but it also changes. But it's just one of, oh shit, we missed a lot. We missed like half of the goddamn chart.
I know. I was scrolling through it. I'm like, I think we just have to pick it up later, because we got to end it a little bit earlier today. So, but yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, there's so much shit to talk about.
It's one of those things, because look, the guy that fucking outed the government, and pretty much he went to all those Senate hearings and all that shit.
Right.
Like, the guy that compiled all this information, he's like, anytime this stuff picks up, there's talk of nuclear war. And anytime, anytime we've, like, because, you know, I mean, there's in the Bible, in the Quran, in the, like, in any ancient text that we have, there's no tell of this type of thing.
Right.
And then when we started doing shit that's gonna destroy everything in the earth, like, that's when these shit, like, you know, just randomly over Detroit, 3 people saw it.
Well, Detroit could end the world in and of itself, so there is that.
Well, we do launch our ships from Detroit, oddly enough, but no, anytime there was, like, any type of nuclear activity, that's like the hot spots for when people were seeing this kind of shit. So, like, one of the theories is that's actually us from the future coming back, being like, no, not a good idea.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That could be true too. There's a lot. I feel like I need to spike my hair up and like feel like aliens, you know, the crazy alien dude. But there's just like, it's just, there's so much, like, possibility out there. But it's also weird. Like, we have all these ideas of what might be, but there's only one truth, and we'll never know what it is in our lifetime.
Well, it's also like the fucking craziest people that you know and the weirdest people you know are the ones that have seen ghosts and have fucking like done witchcraft and seen UFOs. Right. Like, well, chicken or the egg? Like, which one happened first? I don't know, but I can tell you I've never seen a UFO, but I mean, the US actually released all the evidence that the fighter pilots, it's a real thing.
Right. It's a real thing. Well, they say, to be fair, all they said is they say they are UFOs. They didn't say it's aliens, but they did say they are UFOs. Right. It's like, we don't know what they are.
But this guy was the reason why they released the footage, and it's stuff that, like, technology we couldn't even dream of. Like, they're like, I think one fighter pilot actually said
they broke the sound barrier, or they went supersonic without breaking the sound barrier. Was like part of some of the stuff that came out.
That was part of it, but it was, I think the greatest quote that I remember was, it wasn't like they were moving from right to left. It was like they were slingshotting towards you and then went away. And it was like they weren't operating on a 3D axis.
Right.
And they're like, kind of like they pop in and pop out whenever the fuck they want to.
I hate to cut you short, but we got to hit the chop shop.
All right. Well, I got a chop. I'll accept the chop. So I've now been successfully chopped 1 time.
No, it's more than once.
I don't have my goddamn notepad.
The chop shop. Dude, get your fucking notepad. What's the fucking hold up?
I got to get it.
Just buy it. It costs it'll cost you like $5.
I'm saying, I get drunk on the podcast and I always forget.
It'll take 6 weeks for it to get there, but it only costs like $5. So make it happen. Okay. So Josh gets a chop. Bryce Harper gets a chop. Philadelphia gets a chop. The Apocalypse gets a chop, because fuck that.
The Apocalypse? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna chop the Apocalypse.
I think. Well, I feel like it's relatively. I don't want to experience it, so fuck the Apocalypse.
I don't want to experience it. I don't think I would survive it, but I also
well, statistically speaking, very few. It's funny because people are always like, "Yeah, I'd be the one who fucking finds the bunker and survives." Like, no, no, you would not. You would just die because that's what most people are gonna do.
But I honestly think like, so let's just say I wasn't like killed immediately, like when within the first 5 days. I think I'd do all right, and then I would just die later. Like somebody would kill me.
Yeah, you'd get killed for your ass jerky or something.
Yeah,
that's in Fallout.
Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't survive the whole time. Like somebody would betray me, or I would get like killed by marauders trying to find the ice patrol or something.
Killed by marauders, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, we gotta cut it short. I really gotta fucking go to the bathroom too. So, everybody, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you guys. Check us out online. Check out our merch. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on everywhere. Apple Podcasts. Get our audio shit. YouTube. Get the video and audio. Whatever your fucking preference is, we got something for you.
We got you, bro.
We got you, bro. Give us money. Peace.
Peace.